Okay, so we got some people online. So Debbie, just tell us a little bit about your background and like when you joined JK and all of that stuff. What were you doing before you joined JK and like when did you join and how did that whole journey begin?
I'll keep it brief because I know it's a really long story, but my husband actually joined JK initially, and his 10-year anniversary would have been this year in July. And he wanted me to leave my job right away. And I was just like, not feeling it. I understood the concept and had a really good person that had signed us up at the time. I think it was Simon. And like, I understood the process of it, but I was very dedicated. He and I actually worked for the same company for 20 years, and he hated it, but I loved it. And a lot of things with me and Mike were really opposite. So he got everything rolling, and then he just kept on. He wanted me to leave. At the time, all of my family lives up near Asheville. I had a daughter up there that was struggling, and my mother was really ill. And I just kept finding myself like going back and forth between here and Asheville all the time. And still, I was working like 60 hours a week. Plus, at the time, we were raising 4 children. So it just became insane. And I finally left, joined JK, I think about 7 years ago. And then like our business was like, okay, Mike had made enough money off the basics to supplement my income too. And then it was like I really tried to take a month off and do nothing because I was very burnt out, and it just didn't happen because I'm not good at doing nothing. And I just like started getting into everything and really heavily into sales at first. So it didn't take us long before we were making a really good income. We stuck to it for like maybe 2, 3 years, something like that. And then I think we made a mistake. Dan's often said, don't take your foot off the gas. And I think we did some of that. And then, of course, just like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now, Mike got really sick and then he passed away in May. So all of a sudden, it was me out of practice and not knowing anything about anything. Just had to jump in and realize that our income had slipped so terribly because of listings that we'd lost and clients that fell off and just didn't get replaced. And it was not cool. It wasn't great how everything fell out, but we were so wrapped up in other things that I just didn't know. And certainly we never expected Mike not to make it home from the hospital when he was in the hospital. And I won't go into that because I'll just get upset. But anyway, I think whenever I literally, really truthfully started working JK, it was in June of this past year. And it was just more of I found myself in the middle of the ocean kind of thing and had to tread water and learn how to swim. And so that's why it's very important to me to be here like every Tuesday and Thursday, because I know that I'm still missing some elements. I know that there's still more things to recover. I've gotten new business in, and it's like I'm constantly trying to figure out, like, I've got a good system now, but that's really honestly just been in place for about the last maybe 10 weeks. And it was just like I felt like I was putting out fires constantly at first. So there was a whole lot that needed to be done differently. And one of the first things I did was move everything to Snaps. And I think that was one of the best moves I could have made. I'm always learning stuff every day. And Mike was really technical and everything like that. And I'm just not gifted in that area. But I've learned a whole lot from Jarrett and from you and from other people in the group. Even some of the newer people are very inspirational. And so I just keep going and moving on.
Yeah, that makes sense. You were doing just nothing but sales. Mike was the one doing building and ranking sites. So you kind of now had to learn the other aspect of the business. And so I've heard you mention though that you still have some clients that's been paying faithfully over the last few years.
We have clients that have been with us like 7, 8 years.
Okay. And yeah, that's awesome. And so those clients, like they're paying on autopilot month to month.
Yeah, I do stay in touch with them and make sure that, hey, is there something we could be doing differently? I have re-examined some of the keywords and stuff like that because 8 years is a long time to be hanging on the same keyword and doing the same thing. Some of those have made shifts in technology in different areas and things like that. So there was no bouncing back. Those things were already doing really well. We set them up really well to begin with, have really good relationships with them, and they've always been happy with us. We did have a VA that was doing backlinks and stuff like that. And I have no idea what happened to that person. I couldn't tell you. In the middle of Mike's illness, and then he passed away. No kidding. His computer or the computer messed up, and we had to merge information. I lost information. It was just a very chaotic time. So I haven't had anybody like that I've outsourced work to. At this point, I'm just making sure I get a system down and understand all the aspects of it before I delegate that to somebody else. If
Yeah,
that makes
makes sense. Are those clients that's been paying you for the last 7, 8 years, are they paying you flat rate, flat fee?
Yes.
great.
And they send referrals too.
Yeah, there's always like second money opportunity with those guys. So would you say those guys have been pretty much through the rough times, kind of help at least make it a little bit easier and pay some of the bills and whatnot? Yeah, that's the beauty of this business model or having the ability to have these digital assets that churn passive income. I just want to say that to any newcomers there that despite we lose focus sometimes and we neglect this business at times. I went through that phase. You still have these clients that you created years ago, still paying on a month to month basis. And those are lifesavers at times when different things happen in real life. Yeah, these digital assets, these local lead gen. Obviously, you want the ideal situation when starting out is you want to do two things at once, like prospect for new money, web build, SEO, different things that you're doing right now. But the ultimate long-term strategy is to build these digital assets